The Pyramid of Giza is the Tower of Babel. The Ark discovery in Turkey gives validity to the story, as the Middle East is the earliest historical populated landmass. Humans migrated south towards Africa, which is where we find the first traces of human mitochondrial DNA. If they migrated from Turkey south along the Mediterranean, brings us to Genesis 11. In the land of Shinar, they went west, and they found a plain. Giza was chosen due to its flat, strong plains and 5-degree incline. Plain, the Hebrew word bakah, means wide-leveled valley. Nimrod was a mighty warrior and a leader. Nimrod divided Shinar into 4 lands. They came from the east and likely migrated to the east: Babel, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh. As king, he would have appointed leaders. Babel, Egypt, would have belonged to Nimrod, as it was the greatest architectural feats of the ancient world. Erech, or Uruk, the capital of Sumer of the ancient Sumerians. Akkad, the land of the Akkadians. Calneh, though a mystery historically, Calneh shares similarities to Chinese Mandarin, uses ni more than it utilizes any other word in the language. These lands stretched east, and after the fall the borders would have been drawn. China has a speculated history beyond the 3,000-year mark. Oracle bones discovered in China have similarities to the Egyptian hieroglyphs of the ancient times. 4 lands divided by 4 races. This would account for all human variations that we see today. If this is true, then we should find evidence of this. The Ramses statues, large, precise, and prevalent. The most prevalent statue we find in the ancient Egyptian world. Except, it's not Ramses.
I knew it!
This is a reconstruction of Ramses II mummy. You can easily notice the differences. So why is it that they could mimic these statues with such precision that we could pick them out of a lineup, yet they couldn't get the face right? So who is this? The evidence points to Nimrod, leader of Shinar, the 4 earliest empires, worshippers of snakes and populator of the human diverse world. Abu Simbel borders South Egypt along the Nile. It's a temple that's carved into the mountain and depicts Ramses II sitting among 3 men, a giant statue memorial at the entrance, mimicked inside on a smaller scale. Egyptologists claim it's his attempt to be seated among the gods. But are the gods of different races? Is this the 4 leaders of Shinar, or is this the gods? If you examine the statues, they appear to be separate races. Ironically, it's the 4 races that would be required to spawn all humanity as we know it. Nimrod appears to be of black descent, with characteristics pointing towards this direction. Akkad appears to be white. Erech, though missing, was likely of Indian descent. And Calneh, not ironically, is undeniable in appearance to the ancient Asians, whether it be Chinese or Korean. If we examine the ancient crowns that they're wearing, we might get clues as to what kingdoms they belonged. Throughout history, it has been a mystery what color were the ancient Egyptians. Multiracial hieroglyphics make it difficult to pinpoint, though it's likely due to the fact that it was a multiracial society at one point. We see commonalities: snakes, attire, grooming, and even this purse that seems to appear all throughout the ancient world. The construction and artifacts, similarities among the buildings, pointing to an advanced technology that ceased progression abruptly. Precision, cuts, transportation, lifting would have all been impossible without some lost ancient technology that we haven't discovered, among other clues and observable phenomenons that lead us to this conclusion. So what changed?
What happened?
Genesis 11 says, "Nothing they imagine to do will now be withheld from them." That's kind of a bold statement for some peasants in the ancient world smashing rocks into chisels. God confused their language.
Huh? I don't understand what you're saying, but you're not talking clear. I want to say what you're saying. Hey.
They abandoned their projects and dispersed, taking their mixed genetics to their segregated lands throughout the world. We see these technologies appear across the globe on smaller scales, as if knowledge was carried away into different directions. Then it all stops. Like the flood, the early civilizations pass on the Tower of Babel story. Ziggurats, and tower in Hebrew literally means a pyramidal structure. Egyptian technology weakens, pyramids cease. Though scavenging may have dismantled most of the technology, they still left clues behind. Similarities in language, writing, but most telling, a diverse human population separated by land and physical traits throughout the globe. And it all started in one place in Africa, according to our DNA. Egypt, Shinar, or Babel. Stories of half-men and dogs in the afterlife from these engineers appear throughout the ancient civilizations of Egypt. Claiming the tower was incomplete and the top was not finished, missing roof, we are left with the Giza pyramid without its top and no evidence that it was ever there or damaged to suggest it fell. Snakes make their way into the worship globally, even associated with pyramids in many cases. This is all in line with the biblical context. The Pyramid of Giza has become an occult symbol of a one-world order, with unfinished tops still represented in many cases. With that eye that looked down upon earth and all the sons of man and changed the course of history. God's plan is almost complete, and it appears we may be back where we started, staring at the Tower of Babel in ignorance. Except now, we know who was the cornerstone the builders rejected. It was Jesus.